Welcome back to Marlowe House Presents Scoundrels of a Stranger Sky. I'm Andrew Marlowe.
I'm Monica Marlowe.
I'm Scott.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, we forgot to name the title the last two times we started this.
Just both times?
Yeah, we were bad. We're still getting used to this whole thing. This whole podcasting thing is
because you know what else we didn't do last time?
What?
We didn't tell the viewers on YouTube, because the viewers on Twitch already heard, but the viewers on YouTube did not hear that we have a Discord channel, and we didn't remind them to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel or to join us on Twitch.
So I'm just gonna point out that if anybody got to episode 7 or 8 or whatever we're on now without having heard the previous episodes,
like, yeah,
is 7 even up yet?
No.
That was the one we just recorded.
Right.
No.
But that was the one where
no, 7 and 8 are actually part of last week's, and they're not up yet.
Oh, they're not. Oh, okay.
Me. Shame on me.
Ooh, you are.
It's been a busy week, and I was trying to get a bunch of other stuff together, and I thought I had posted them. I had posted one of them. They're actually done, but they take so long to upload.
Then it just
I didn't go back and upload them. So I need to go do that. I will do that when we get off tonight.
And if you missed it on Redbubble, we have a duvet cover that says "We're so screwed." Valentine's Day is coming up.
All right.
Is that Scott?
In honor of your game, I'm eating traditional pirate food of sloppy joes and tater tots.
And chocolate.
Yes, pirates definitely like chocolate.
Especially the coins.
Am I the only one that saw Venom?
We haven't seen Venom yet.
What do you want for dinner? Tater tots and chocolate.
We need to see that.
Yeah.
It's on our list.
It's fun.
It's on our list. We just haven't.
We've heard it's fun. We just haven't broken down to do it yet. I will admit there was a lot of trepidation on my part because Venom without Spider-Man and at any rate.
Tom Hardy.
Look, that's a plus. I won't lie. But
it's a movie and Tom Hardy's in where they don't cover his face.
What do you mean?
Well, for parts of it. For parts of it.
CGI to completely obliterate his face.
Yes, but for parts of it you get to see his face.
Plus the googly eyes are awesome.
Are they?
And I'm being told that Venom is awesome fun.
Yes.
Or we're all being told, rather.
Yes, we are all being told because everybody can see it because it scrolls in the middle. Yay, jazz hands. All right.
So anyway, so when we last left off, you guys are about to undergo the heist.
Dun, dun.
And we're just to recap how we're going to do this. We're going to
roll a bunch of dice. Can we do it faster this time?
We can, if you narrate it faster. So what we're going to do is you have to get. We're going to make this a little bit more complicated than the last one because the last one was sort of a test run. You're going to have to get 7 successes before you accrue 3 failures.
I don't know about that. We're going to have to make up new characters.
It doesn't mean you die. And this is just the first challenge. And this will be the first portion of the heist.
But you're making us spend out of our intellect pool every time we try something.
Intellect, speed, or might. You can come up with other ways to do it.
Maybe you're faster than the guards.
So the whole point of the intellect roll of that intellect roll is to set something in stone. That's something I can't tamper with.
Okay.
As easily.
I'd
have to actually throw a experience point your direction to tamper with that. And then that would be like, because using the example of you're going to drug a guard because you know that he takes lunch at this time and this is what he takes for lunch. I could throw an XP at you. The intrusion is that guard's not working today.
All right.
So you set that in stone. But for some of your other stuff where it's like, oh, we're going to sneak through this particular area and, keep to the shadows so that nobody sees us and, do X, Y, Z, that's just you using your rolls, and that would be like a speed check. Might check if you decide that you need to climb up a service shaft and,
If someone needs to climb up a shaft, I'm your girl. Did I mention the duvet?
Good night, everybody.
Did I mention the duvet covers? All right. So let's do this.
This just doesn't get any better, does it?
No, it doesn't.
You brought this on yourself.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, the moment I asked you two to join me for this.
I know. It's like he's never met us before.
Okay, so the first objective that you guys are going to do is to get to the vault.
No, we're going to get uniforms.
No. This is the first objective.
Oh.
So how you get to the vault, you can break it up however you want.
Oh, I see.
But this skill challenge only gets you into the vault.
Okay.
It does not get you back out. Keep it family friendly now.
Yeah, I know. I see it.
So 7 successes before 3 failures. You guys have narrative control over what you're doing. So if you want to get uniforms, tell me how you want to get uniforms. We will montage narrate through it, and you'll make the roll to see whether you succeed or not. If you fail, then we'll get into more fun twists and turns and craziness as we go.
Nonsense and shenanigans from us?
So I think uniforms ought to be on me.
Why?
Because I can blend in.
Okay.
I can just go into the place where they're being stored, grab a few, go.
Okay.
Okay. You are sneaking around the very paranoid future Emperor's estate, and it is kind of a heightened sense of security, and you guys aren't quite certain why. But there does appear to be a sort of heightened sense of security, and Emrys tells you that this looks like they're in a heightened state of security.
Are there different types of uniforms being worn by different types of people?
They look much like the uniforms back that you saw on the other island.
Uh-huh.
But in addition to their lapel markings and their piping and things like that, each of these wears a sort of like badge on their sleeve.
Okay.
That is different than what you've seen anywhere else.
I'm asking, do there appear to be uniforms for the housekeepers versus the kitchen staff?
Oh, yes. For that, yes.
Okay.
But it's not significantly different.
Okay. And there's there's security.
There's security as well.
Okay. Probably try to get security uniforms if you can then. All right. Well, then I guess Emrys and I will just sit here and wait for you.
All right.
I don't know where we're sitting.
Unless you want to get their assistance on this.
Probably Emrys's assistance.
Okay.
Since he is more familiar with the prince's habits and security methods.
Okay.
Okay, I guess technically it would be deceiving. I'll use telling in addition to that.
Okay.
Extra asset. $16 or $18? I believe 16.
Right. So how many steps did you lower?
So 2 for stealth. Another 1 for telling. Is amorous worth an asset?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that would be 4.
So you lower it 4 steps.
Mm-hmm. 18 or 16 on the die.
Okay.
I'm sorry, plus telling. It's another.
No, you counted telling. Yeah.
Okay.
So 4.
Okay.
Okay. So with 16 on the die, that is enough.
God, I'd hope so. That was like 9. Difficulty 9. Oh dear. Okay. Sounds like it was just enough.
Yes. But you guys are high tier, so I mean, you're breaking into a very paranoid dragon's house.
Yes.
I think that this
would
calls
qualify
for 8s, 9s, and 10s.
The time is now
Very late.
very late.
Time is now. Welcome to Marlowe, House o'clock.
The BBC misses you, Scott.
With the rocks they're throwing.
Yeah, right?
That's their problem. They're all the way across the Atlantic.
And at this point, my understanding is they were all asleep.
Most of them. Well, a lot of them.
Well, nobody's...
Anyway, so sneaky.
All right, so you sneak in and you grab some uniforms. You go in.
Make sure I get a good cut.
You snake 3 uniforms and creep back out with those. So uniform secured. What's the next goal?
We put them on. Oh wait. We do that. So we actually need to we need to know the layout of this. I mean, I know Emrys has told us, but I really need to walk it to see what we're working with. Like,
right, so you're gonna do like a survey,
like a patrol.
You're gonna walk
yes.
a survey as if you were on a watch patrol.
Yes.
All right. So, do you want to call that a perception roll?
Sure, I can do that, and a navigation roll because I want to remember what the layout is and stuff like that.
Sure. So I'll let you apply one or the other, whichever one you want to apply, perception or navigation.
And I can't use.
Not in this case.
Okay.
I'll let you apply whichever one's better.
Well, I'm trained in both of them. Neither one of them is particularly better than the other. I will apply.
I'll let them stack.
Okay.
I'll let you go.
Well, I mean, I'm just trying to remember. I mean, I'm just trying to.
Yeah. Go ahead, make it as one roll.
Kind of like memorize the.
That's fine.
The area. I'm going to spend some effort on that. Just one. $14.
So you put a point of effort in it. You've got 2 on your skills.
Mm-hmm.
So you lowered it 3 steps.
Yep.
Okay. And I'll give you an asset for the uniform. So that's 4 steps. You rolled a 14.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite enough. So you do go, you make your rounds. But your rounds are interrupted because there are more guards on one of the sections. You manage to avoid getting, waylaid by them, but you don't get to make the full circuit you wanted to make.
All right. I give it an hour. I'd like to go back and try again.
Okay.
I have danger sense, which costs me 1 speed.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 effort this time.
Now, trying it again
Yes.
usually increases the difficulty of it by 1 step.
Well, and that's why I spend 2 effort on it.
Okay. I'm just making sure you knew.
Well, I have actually. I'll spend 3.
Okay.
$19.
19. That's enough.
Okay.
So you wait a little bit of time, you make your rounds, you get a good feel for what the place is like, what the timing on things is going to be. You know that there's basically what the layout of like the first couple floors is between here and the vault. It doesn't get you right up on the vault because that's not within a safe patrol area.
Right.
But it does give you a good feel of most of what this floor looks like, some possible escape routes and things like that.
That's what I'm looking for.
So it takes her quite a bit of time to make these checks, to go around. While she's doing that, are you doing anything, Scott, or are you just waiting?
How about you see if you can get us on the security roster?
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems like a solid idea.
I mean, I'm thinking that time that I spent that hour, I actually patrolled the area that I already knew, and then tried to move into the space again.
Okay. That's what I was figuring too.
Okay. That seems like it would be a good deceiving.
Okay.
Just make my way around to the guard station.
The main guard station.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There is a catfolk security guard.
Okay. So you said she's gone for an hour or 2?
Yeah.
I will spend about 20 minutes just observing the station. So I use understanding.
Okay.
Observe or study a creature or object. Next time you interact with it, the difficulty is reduced by 1 step.
Okay. So you're studying him.
So you can just kind of get a feel for the way the interactions are supposed to go.
Okay, so this particular catfolk, as you kind of like watch him, he apparently has a sideline. He's not just operating here in the security facility. He's evidently got something going on with the other guards and some of the other people on staff, and he seems to be under the table selling something. Probably some sort of contraband.
How many of the regular guards are actually buying from him?
A handful.
A handful?
Mm-hmm. Seems to be mostly like the maid servants and the kitchen staff.
Okay. Make my way up. I'm going to make my way into the station itself to affect the roster.
Okay. You go in, you can see. Now, are you going to time it so there's somebody else there, or are you going to time it so that you're the only one in there and you're alone with the catfolk?
I'm thinking we'll do it so that there's someone else there for him to be distracted by.
Okay. And he seems to be a little brazen about what he's doing too.
Yeah.
It seems that at least maybe his like direct superior doesn't care, because he's not very subtle at all about things. And you walk in and you can overhear him talking to one of the maids. He says, "Tommy has wares if you have coin."
That's weird.
Oh, Tommy the cat. While he's distracted.
Okay.
It is a 15 effort. Understanding. 2 for deception. So that's lowered by 5.
Okay. Lowered by 5. And you rolled what again?
15.
Yeah. You slip past him. You can scribble your names or whatever names you want to use as your assumed names into the ledger. And you can even mark it down for the more secure portion with that roll. So that'll give you some clearance.
And back out. Glad I didn't have to use the wand of laser pointer again.
Hey, look, Tommy, over there. See that?
Get it! Get it!
All right.
So
we meet back at our appointed time.
Okay.
Or wherever our appointed spot is.
Right. Cut back to you. One of those cuts where the screen kind of goes.
We have to figure out where we're going to stay. So, Emerus, if they added new security guards to the duty roster, where would they come from? I mean, we new hires. How do we?
It's like they'll distribute that duty roster to the security heads soon. So once those duty rosters are circulated, you'll pretty much just be able to walk up and say that you're the new guards that were assigned, and you can give your names, and they'll match it against the list.
Okay. All right. I'm just trying to figure out how long that's going to take. You say there's a cat who's dealing contraband, and you didn't stop to talk to him?
I was busy.
You were busy. Well, that's might have some. He might be worth going back to check out. So we'll need to wait until we can get in there to look at it. Don't know if I can get into it until I see it.
Just tell me what it is that you want to do.
Well, I want to see the security room so I can figure out if I can get into it.
The one he was just in?
No, not the security office, the actual vault.
Oh.
I mean, at this point...
So you just have to work your way down there and look at it.
Right.
So, I mean, but that'll pretty much be, you'll have one shot at that.
Well, how are we supposed to plan how we're going to get in?
Because you know roughly where it is. You know kind of what the layout is of it. Just tell me what it is that you want to do.
I just want to... I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know what the next step is.
All right, so hold on. As a player, we're just kind of playing this roughly by ear. So you just kind of come up with what you want to do. You can go down there and be like, I would imagine that the hallway before this is trapped, so I want to use this to evade any traps that are in the hallway. And we'll kind of just go with that. This is putting like part of the storytelling back on you.
This is where you kind of preemptively disarm some things.
Right. Well, that's what I'm...
So we're just kind of like narrating it out. There's no plan to what's laid out here because it could be anything. You guys are the experts, so I'm letting you be experts.
Okay.
So
I'm not sure. I'm not sure I have the brain power to do this at 11:30 at night. Is I think my problem.
Okay. So I mean, you're just kind of being the expert. So instead of doing like the whole, you're experts, so go do it, and you have to like read my mind. I'm saying, you're the experts. Go do it. Tell me what you're doing.
Okay, so what I think we need to do, though, is I think we need to figure out what our exit strategy is, too, once we have this. Where do we need to be? I mean, is our goal to leave the island, or are we going to stay here for 2.5, or for the remaining 2 days, and then reappear? We have to be back at the spot we left from.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's going to take us how long to get back there?
A couple of hours to. If we can commandeer a ship, we can just get there in a couple of hours.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we need to figure out what ships are going to be here and how we're going to get them. So let's go take a look at the.
So you want to go wrangle a ship?
We want to go make sure we're going to have a ship lined up.
Right. That's actually going to be part of another challenge. So I will go ahead and put a line here on my papers. I will note that.
Okay. And
you're actually going to work on your escape then.
Right, because we have to have that all lined up. Because if we're only going to have one shot at getting this thing out,
and that is the same kind of challenge. So we'll just go ahead and keep track of your stuff and all.
All right.
Because you guys can be planning it in any order, and we're just going to play through it in whatever order that you're planning it.
Right, that's fine.
So it gets a little goofy.
Well, that's fine. I mean, I'm trying to think of all the things that we'll need to figure out. So we're going to want a fast ship that holds 3 people. So fighter's probably going to be out unless they do have a small fighter. They do have
small fighters.
They're large enough for a crew of 3, or uncomfortably for 2.
They do have some things like that.
Okay.
They've got a couple of small fighters. It's like 2 gunner chairs and a pilot.
Okay. We'll want one of those. Familiarize yourself with the controls. Done.
These are classic.
Done. So it's set up like New Schwanstein, and it's like tiered.
Mm-hmm.
The treasury, and that is it like toward the top?
Towards the top.
Okay, and then the ships are at the bottom?
Yes.
All right. So I have climbing and breaking things and stealth as things that I'm able to do. It might be worth having one or both of you here waiting with the engines running rather than trying all 3 of us to get back through.
All right. So you can see where the ships are.
Yes.
Are you going to take any actions to secure that ship?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
We're talking about that.
Okay.
Hold on. So from where we are now, can we see?
One of us is going to be the most not out of place.
Yes, but you don't have lockpicking trained and skilled, and
I was thinking Amorous.
He can't get in and out of the.
He's not terribly useful for these things. He can help you guys out a little bit, but he's not really.
No, I mean, like, if we're going to have the ship ready, waiting to go.
Oh, he could be the one with the ship.
He's going to be the one the least out of place here.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So he should sit with the engines running. Okay, so he's our getaway driver.
So you're going to make him the getaway driver.
Yes.
So you guys are going to make a plan.
Well, he's not going to necessarily be the getaway driver, but he's going to be the one who's going to clear.
He's going to be the getaway idler.
Yeah, right. He's going to be the one. He's going to be the one who's in charge of making sure that the ship is waiting for us here.
Okay, that's fine. So you guys are going to try to make a plan to get him there, though.
Right, and have it ready. So, do they have like patrols? Do they take these ships out with regularity?
I don't know. Do they?
Yes, they probably do, because they would need some airspace. I mean, I'm sure that.
So, I mean, you could do something along the lines of,
we make sure that we're assigned.
You go and you talk about it being disabled, and he could be your mechanic working on it.
Okay.
So you could go with something like that.
Yeah.
And then, you basically slap a out of order sign on one of them, and it sits there waiting for you.
Okay. Then we will probably want to make sure that that happens at the right time.
All right, so
We need to get him into a mechanic's uniform of some kind too then.
all right, so do you want to get the uniform while the other one goes and does this fast talking to get it locked up?
I'll do the spin identity.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're gonna spin your identity to be
I'm going to throw 4 effort at it, plus the deception.
So what are you trying to spin your identity as?
I'm spinning the identity for Amorous.
Can you do that for somebody else?
I mean, I don't see why not.
I thought it was specifically like
I think
you
it's
become
for
somebody
you.
else.
Let's find out.
So you could like roll in and be like his supervisor
Yeah, that'd be fine.
and like tell everybody that he's here to do this job, blah blah blah, and
Yeah, that would work.
spin your identity as his super, and then he becomes the guard underneath it.
I just need to know how many people I have to convince. Because that's going to determine how much this costs me.
Well, this is a good opportunity for you to teamwork on this one. So you could go to spin that identity to get him set up. You could go down and distract people and pull people away as a guard, and put people on, high alert for something, and pull people away from it. Because at current, there are about 11 people down there on the dock.
Yeah.
Is our original ship that we came in on still down here?
It is still unloading, but this is a different portion of the dock. This is the armed portion, the security portion.
Okay.
This is the security dock. It's a little bit separate from the other dock. But that doesn't mean you couldn't dispatch people to that ship.
Well, that's what I'm thinking I want to do. Actually, I let them know that I heard some of the crew talking that there was an outbreak of an infectious disease. The cook was sick, and it looks like there might be food poisoning contaminants, and that I need
inspection
teams to get down to that ship to make sure that they aren't unloading bad food on to the prince. That they're not trying
vermin.
to another vermin,
poisons and other vermin. Oh,
trying to
the nerve
harm
of
the
them.
prince.
Go ahead and make that roll and see how many people will respond.
Well, the good news is I have lies and trickery now, as well as local
right,
customs.
So we're going to do this a little differently than a normal roll.
Okay.
So I'm going to set the difficulty at 4.
All right.
Each difficulty that you get above 4 will remove a person.
Can she use the lie that I told on the ship as an asset?
Yes.
Excellent.
Okay. So
there's your assist.
All right. So I drop it with that. I have lies and trickery, which drops it 2. We're running out of. Oops. Sorry, people at home. That I just donged you. I'll drop it 2 more with intellect, so that actually takes it down to 0. But now I have to roll.
Right, and so every 3 that you roll will actually be an additional person. So you've already got 1. What'd you roll?
I rolled a 12. I'm not sure if I want to.
That's 4 more.
I know, but
that brings you to 5 people. So there's only 6 left.
I know.
I can cover that just on effort.
Okay. Well, as long as you can cover that on effort. I hate to re-roll it, but that's...
All right, so that's actually a success.
Woo.
That's a success before failure.
The mic's weird. Yeah.
So that's good. And now we'll see where Scott's roll puts us.
So that's going to cost me...
So they're like, oh, the nerve! Oh, and they send a patrol over because they're unbelievable. There are probably vermin on that ship. Oh, the whole thing could be infested. And so they send off some of the security people and some of the maintenance crew.
Excellent.
Cool. I spend
to go inspect the ship
for 4 effort.
You spend 4 effort.
Mm-hmm. Specialized in deception, and then using the fast talk. Oh, it's been identity. I mean,
Right.
18. Ooh.
Okay, that's successful then. And so you guys basically ground a ship and plant Emrys on it. That does take Emrys out of your available resources for a lot of things, unless it's something that he could do before you go.
Okay. Well, and this could be what we do closer to us doing our break-in. But not knowing what order some of the other stuff is going to happen yet. But that will be one of the.
It's probably one of the first things you do to set it up so that you can walk out. It's one of the you'd have to layer it. So it's probably one of the first things that you do, even though it's one of the last things that will be necessary.
Right.
It'd be one of the first things on the day of.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I'm honestly thinking we should probably cut it to the last day. That would give us an extra full day to plot for this.
Well, the sooner we do this, the sooner we can get back. I mean, we still have, we have 48 hours and we're kind of, we still don't know what the inside, we don't even know where it's at. I mean, we know it's on that floor, but we don't really know anything more than that.
Right, but doing it sooner doesn't get us back to the future.
Right.
Any faster.
He's been waiting 3 weeks to do that, I'm sure. All right.
Possibly longer. He's been probably waiting since the planning episode when we were talking about going back in time.
Yes.
Doc.
All right. So we get the ship set up. So we have our escape route.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we need?
As part of the pre-planning, the way in, something I could do while still in the guardhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Did I catch a name for the maid that showed up that he just brazenly tried to sell to?
Molly.
Cool. Let's do a little persuading. Who's Molly? She is a looker.
Okay.
To Tommy.
Okay.
He's a cat. He doesn't care about humans.
These probably cats are busybodies.
Yes, they are.
Okay. So
who's Molly? She is fine. She seen anybody?
Yeah. She's he kind of keeps looking at you like,
do I know you?
I know you. He's kind of got that like, I thought I knew everybody here.
I don't usually stop in. Belkin. Shake his hand.
He shakes your hand. Tommy,
good to meet you. So Molly, do you know her well?
Well enough. She's got a boyfriend.
Man, lucky fella.
Not from what I hear.
Really? Do tell.
Well, my understanding is that she's not particularly happy with him at the moment. He may have forgotten an important date, if you know what I mean.
That happens.
Yeah. Apparently missed an anniversary. I mean, if you ask me, a 3-week anniversary isn't really an anniversary, but
when
some people are like that.
When they just start out, I mean, especially if they've had bad relationships in the past.
Well, poor Molly. She's not had the best run of luck. I mean, and he just like goes.
Yeah.
And after you've been talking to him for a few minutes, he's like, so, Tommy's got wares if you've got coin.
Tommy, if you think you can get word to Molly to be at this stairwell,
I can do that.
On the day of.
Okay. Ooh. I see how that is.
Well, I'll buy off of you.
I've got some very nice orcish brandy. It's not super allowed these days, but
Tommy, you are a wizard.
But it's good.
So do you buy some orcish brandy?
I'll buy some orcish brandy.
Right, so you buy some orcish brandy.
We may need it to bribe somebody.
So you acquire some orcish brandy.
Go
ahead and give me a basically an intellect roll to charm and finagle.
Persuading?
Yeah.
Throw some free effort at that.
Okay.
Knock it down by 4. Still use the observational one?
Yes.
5. That's a 10.
That's enough. So she'll be waiting for you where you're supposed to, where he'll actually manage. He'll pull that off. She'll be waiting for you if he has anything to say about it.
Okay, so now we need to figure out.
So why do you want her waiting for you? I'm just curious.
She's known around the facility, so if someone sees us together, it won't be that much out of the ordinary.
Okay.
It would be almost like a cover.
Fantastic.
Oh no, I figured he was just making shit up.
I figured he was probably shooting for something. I'm just curious what he's shooting for.
When you add our names to the duty roster, I want you to remember some of the other names that are on there because we'll need those.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, go ahead and give me a mental roll.
So I'll put that as well. Would history technically apply to that?
No.
Dang. About. Ooh. Maybe.
He's got it on his phone.
Yes, I do.
Technology.
What?
That's a good one. Dang it, where'd it go? That'd probably be about the same thing, actually. Okay.
What?
I was gonna try to use do like an alternate use on my ability to read the signs.
Uh-huh.
Oh, the notice things. Yeah, I'll give you an asset for that.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because it is a matter of just taking in the details. The reading the signs.
Yeah, it's another 10.
Okay. You get a few of the names. You're not certain if you got enough of them or not.
Okay.
All right.
So at this point, you are sitting on 4 successes and 2 failures.
What do we fail?
That last roll.
Oh, that's not good.
Would identifying have helped? Would identifying have helped?
Not enough.
Okay.
All right.
You were 2 steps too low.
Gotcha.
Oh.
It's okay though.
All right. So, about how long will it take for us to be on the roster so that we can get to the upper
You're on the
floors?
roster.
Oh, I mean, so could we?
Yeah,
we could
you've
go
made
now?
the change today, so
Okay.
it'll work for tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I want to get up there today to observe the higher floors to see what their security looks like, and that I just want to find a place.
That would be later this afternoon. You can probably pull that off.
So I just want to find a quiet place that I can sit unobserved.
So you want to like stealth that?
Yes, and then I want to watch what's going on for a few hours to see just to get a feel for like the pattern of what's going on.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to spend 2 effort speed. Actually, I'm going to spend 3. 14, and I load it by 3.
Okay. So you get a pretty good feel for what's going on.
Okay. I use my enigmas to keep track of what's going on for the patterns. I mean, I know it's not really, but I mean, I can make a roll to memorize those if you want. Okay. Also, still trying to figure out if trying to come through the halls is the best way, or if we should really just scale the walls on the outside to get down to the ship.
For your escape.
Yeah.
All right. So if that's for your escape, you could do your escape over the walls.
I'm trying to figure out what's going to be.
What do you want to bet? The prince has a series of dumbwaiters that are connected to the kitchen.
Possibly. That sounds like a really good thing. Maybe like they would need to do that because the halls here are enormous and the floors, I mean, they'd have to move the...
Dumbwaiters sound plausible.
Yeah.
So you could scale the dumbwaiters.
Yep.
And they're probably really well sized for humans.
Probably, because the food's still going to be huge. Any food that they move through there, they're probably, to be honest, they're probably not dumbwaiters. They're probably full-sized elevators because we're talking dragon food. We're talking dragon food here. Mm-hmm. Let's find ourselves some kitchen people.
They might be a little low and cramped, so they wouldn't be like a full-size, like tall elevator, but they would definitely be.
They're serving full racks of beef here. I'm pretty sure that they are full-sized elevators.
They're probably pretty close.
Yeah. Hey, what
I'm saying is they might serve them like put it on like a rolling tray, which probably sits lower to the ground than like the rolling trays in hotels. More like the rolling things to go under a car. You put that on there, and then once it gets to the floor it's going to, whoever gets it would wheel it out like a cart. So it doesn't have to be a full person in height.
How about you use your girlfriend to find out where those dumbwaiters land, or if we can.
I'm not even going to see her until tomorrow.
That's true. Well, let's find ourselves someone today to help us lay that escape that way. How can we work that?
I think those racks of beef are going right to the kitchen?
Yeah, because they have to. There's no reason they would move them up to the top. Where's the highest? We need to figure out where the highest serving area is in relationship to the... We'll just head to the kitchen.
Okay.
After I observe and see what's going on, head down to the kitchens and stuff like that, and start see if I can find somebody who is amicable to be sweet talked.
Okay.
To find out like what the serving.
There's probably somebody down there to be served. To be sweet talked.
To figure out what like the serving schedule is and when we're likely to be able to access those elevators without running into mealtime or something like that, so that they will be largely unobserved.
Okay.
So that there won't really be...
so you're going to sweet talk out, you're going to find out the best time to hit that. And
yeah, and it may be that the best time is during a meal service when they're in action, or when it's not, so that we don't have to worry about it being tied up. Yeah. So I do that. So what do you want here for me?
Go ahead and give me a intellect roll for sweet talking.
Okay, so I've got lies and trickery.
Okay, that's applicable.
And I've been here for several hours observing everybody, so can I use local customs?
Sure.
All right. I will still lower it by one more, though. What is that? 12.
Okay.
Lowered it.
It is. You're like sweet talking him, and what do you kind of keeps chatting with you and keeps diverting the conversation away from the topic that you want, and you kind of like have to almost crowbar him back to your topics, but you eventually do it enough to find out when they're going to go, when they're going to do food service. Now, was this for the escape or the getting in?
It could be for both, honestly. I'm trying to figure out what's probably getting out, though, because getting in, we can just walk up like
right. You're going to use it so that you can time it so you can use the elevator for escape.
Right.
Okay.
Rather than getting in, because we're going to walk in like we're going on duty for security.
Fair.
We don't need to get up there any other way. All right, where are we sitting at then?
5 successes on the vault, 2 fails on the vault. So you need to get 2 more successes before you get 1 more failure on the vault. And then you've got 3 successes, no failures on escape.
Okay, so I feel like I can't come up with 2 more things that I have to roll on.
It is midnight.
Okay.
We will call it in the middle of this.
Okay.
With you very close to failing the vault.
Well, shit.
Or very close to succeeding, because, I mean, your dice rolls have definitely been working more towards the positive than the negative, and we will pick up the rest of the heist next week. And if this goes according to plan, next week may be our last session of Scoundrels of the Stranger Sky. So we're in the end game.
We're in the end game now.
Dun, dun, dun.
So Dr. Strange.
I know.
I'm sorry, too soon?
Spoilers, man!
You're
Spoilers!
Right. He's a year old. What do you think?
Those are the potatoes.
Right.
Oh.
Right. So, for Marlowe House Presents, I'm Andrew Marlowe.
I'm Monica Marlowe.
I'm a fast talking son of a gun.
And we'll see you next week.
Yep.